Have you ever wondered what it really takes to change the world? Most people think only the richest or most powerful can do it. But in 1971, a quiet boy was born in Pretoria, South Africa, who would one day build electric cars, launch rockets, and explore new frontiers. His name was Elon Musk. As a child, Elon loved to read. He spent hours each day with books about science and space. He taught himself to code on an old computer and, at just 12 years old, sold his first video game for $500. He had no fancy toys, only his own curiosity and the dream to big for his small room. Today, Tesla sells over 500,000 electric cars every year, and SpaceX has flown more than 100 rockets into space. These numbers show us how one person's idea backed by hard work can grow into something that changes millions of lives. But it was not easy. In school, Elon was often bullied and felt alone. He left home at 17 to find new chances in other countries. He slept on office floors, showered at gyms, and worked day and night on his first projects. How did a shy boy become the driving force behind rockets, cars, and solar energy? In the next part, we will follow Elon's journey from those quiet days in South Africa to the bold steps that made SpaceX and Tesla possible. When Elon was a child in Pretoria, South Africa, life was not always easy. He was quiet and shy. Other children sometimes teased him at school. They called him names, and he felt alone. Yet Elon did not give up. He loved to read books. Every day after class, he walked to the library. He read about rockets, computers, and the stars. He dreamed of flying to space one day. At home, Elon found an old computer. It had no internet and very little memory, but Elon taught himself to code. He read every manual he could find. He wrote simple programs and fixed errors again and again. When he was 12, he created a video game called Blastar and sold it for $500. He felt proud. His first success came from his own ideas and efforts. When Elon was 17, he left South Africa for more freedom and new opportunities. He first went to Canada and stayed with his mother's family. He studied at Queen's University in Ontario. After 2 years, he moved to the United States and transferred to the University of Pennsylvania. There he earned degrees in physics and economics. He was still curious about many subjects. He read books late at night and asked questions to his professors. In 1995, Elon started his first company, Zip2, with his brother Kimball. They had almost no money. Elon and Kimball worked long hours in a small office that was also their home. They slept on a couch and showered at a nearby gym. They built a website that helped newspapers publish maps and business listings online, something new at the time. Big newspapers liked their idea and paid Zip2 to use the service. 2 years later, a large computer company named Compaq bought Zip2 for $307 million. Elon received about $22 million from the sale. He could have rested, but he wanted more. He felt excited by big challenges. Next, Elon co-founded X.com in 1999, an online bank. He wanted to make financial services easy and fast. In a few months, X.com merged with a company called Confinity, which had a service named PayPal. Elon saw that people liked sending money by email. He focused on PayPal and helped it grow. In 2002, eBay bought PayPal for $1.5 billion. Elon's share was about $165 million. From these successes, Elon learned two important lessons. 1. Work hard. He often said he slept just a few hours a night when Zip2 and paper were growing. 2. Think big. He did not want small gains. He wanted to change industries. By 2002, Elon had experience and money. But he still had bigger dreams. He wanted to make space travel cheap and reliable. And he wanted to build electric cars that people could love. In this period of his life, Elon showed that a person can start with little but achieve much with courage, curiosity, and hard work. He left school for new countries. He built companies that changed the internet and online payments. He did not fear failure. Instead, he used every lesson to prepare for his next step. In the next part, we will see how Elon faced some of the toughest tests of his career when SpaceX rockets failed 3 times and Tesla risked bankruptcy. We will discover how he pushed forward, even when everyone else said he would fail. Elon's journey hit its most dangerous and most defining moment in the late 2000s, when the 2 companies he cared about most teetered on the brink of collapse. In 2006, he poured $100 million of his own money into a new venture called SpaceX, driven by a dream to make spaceflight affordable and routine. The first test seemed to confirm his worst fears. In March, the newly built Falcon 1 rocket rose slowly into the sky, then lost thrust and fell back to the ocean. The second launch in March 2007 failed as well, and by August 2008, the third attempt ended in a fiery explosion on the launch pad. SpaceX had burned through its funding, and staff morale was at rock bottom. Elon slept on the factory floor in Hawthorne, California, haunted by the real possibility that his company might vanish before it ever reached orbit. Simultaneously, on the other side of town, Tesla Motors, where Elon had become CEO in 2008, was facing its own life-or-death struggle. The electric roadster prototype was ready, but manufacturing costs were twice what investors expected. Then the global financial crisis struck, credit dried up, suppliers demanded payment, and Tesla risked defaulting on loans. Staff salaries were delayed. Elon found himself shuttling between SpaceX's engine tests and Tesla's production lines, moving every dollar he could between the 2 companies to keep them both alive. He cut his own salary to $1 per year, believing that if he did not show total commitment, no one else would. Just when defeat seemed inevitable, fate intervened. In September 2008, NASA announced a competition for a next-generation cargo transport to the International Space Station. SpaceX entered its battered Falcon 1 design and won. The award was a $1.6 billion contract, enough to fund operations through at least 2010. That same month, on the 4th Falcon 1 launch, Elon watched with sweaty palms as the rocket climbed perfectly into orbit, delivering supplies to the station. Cheers erupted in the mission control room. SpaceX was no longer a risky startup, it was a trusted partner of NASA. Tesla's turnaround came almost at the same moment. The US Department of Energy approved a $465 million low-interest loan under the Advanced Technology Vehicles Manufacturing Program. That lifeline allowed Tesla to complete the Roadster production run and begin work on the Model S sedan. Elon insisted on perfection. His engineers redesigned the battery pack for safety, improved the suspension for comfort, and added a touchscreen interface far ahead of its time. In June 2012, the Model S debuted to rave reviews. Motor Trend named it Car of the Year, and journalists praised its blend of performance, range, and luxury. Orders flooded in, and Tesla's factory in Fremont, California, shifted into high gear to meet demand. But Elon did not rest on these victories. He saw that true change required more than flashy cars and single rocket launches. He pushed SpaceX to develop reusable rockets landing boosters vertically back on Earth to cut costs, and he championed solar power through Solarcity, a company founded by his cousins, which he funded with his own cash. At Tesla's Gigafactory in Nevada, he ramped up battery production to lower prices for electric vehicles and stationary storage. He even started developing the Model 3, a more affordable car for the mass market, vowing to deliver it by 2017. Throughout these trials, Elon's personal life was a whirlwind. He worked 70+ hours a week, often sleeping in his office or on the factory floor. He missed birthdays and holidays. He weathered criticism from journalists who called his goals impossible and mocked his ambitious timeline. Yet every setback became a lesson. A failed engine test taught SpaceX how to improve its designs. Missed production targets pushed Tesla to refine its supply chain. Elon faced down public doubt by sharing updates on social media, inviting the world into his process and building a community of supporters who believed in his vision. By the early 2010s, SpaceX was safely launching and recovering rockets. Tesla was delivering hundreds of Model S sedans each week, and Solarcity was installing more panels than any other US company. Elon's willingness to risk everything and to keep investing his time, money, and reputation turned near failures into historic triumphs. His story shows us that the path to extraordinary achievements is often paved with moments when giving up seems easier than going on. But it is precisely those moments that separate dreamers from world shakers. When others would have run, Elon Musk chose to learn, adapt, and push forward, transforming to fledgling startups into industry-defining powerhouses. Elon Musk's journey shows that a single person can change entire industries and even reach for the stars when they refuse to accept limits. After his company survived near-death experiences, he did not rest. SpaceX went on to perfect the Falcon 9 rocket, flying it dozens of times and landing its first stage back on Earth, saving millions of dollars per launch. Tesla built the Gigafactory to lower battery costs, making electric cars affordable for more people and helping the world move away from fossil fuels. But Elon's vision goes even further. He founded Neuralink, a company that explores how to connect human brains directly to computers, aiming to help people with paralysis and eventually enhance human intelligence. He started the Boring Company to build underground tunnels that reduce city traffic and speed up travel. With Starlink, SpaceX is launching a constellation of thousands of small satellites to bring high-speed internet to every corner of the planet, from remote villages to disaster zones. Perhaps his boldest dream is to make life multiplanetary. Elon plans to send humans to Mars by the mid-2020s, using Starship rockets that can carry large crews and cargo. His goal is to build a self-sustaining city on Mars, giving humanity a backup in case Earth faces dangerous threats. Critics call it fantasy, but Elon studies rocket science papers, runs simulations, and funds prototype tests. He believes that taking risks and pushing technology forward is the only way to achieve what once seemed impossible. Throughout all this, Elon remains focused on solving big problems. He says that if something is important enough, you should try even if the probable outcome is failure. He lives by first principles, breaking challenges into basic truths and reasoning up from there. He works long hours, sets aggressive timelines, and encourages his teams to do the same. When setbacks occur, engines fail, cars catch fire, rockets explode, he learns quickly, fixes the design, and tries again. Elon's life teaches us that success does not come from comfort or small steps. It comes from asking what if, and then taking massive action, even when the odds are against you. He shows us that we can turn our fears into fuel for progress, that failure is simply feedback, and that the size of your dreams should match the size of the world's biggest challenges. Whether you dream of starting your own company, solving climate change, or exploring space, Elon's story reminds you to begin with passion, study deeply, and work relentlessly. He proves that ordinary people given enough courage and curiosity can do extraordinary things. I have 3 special questions for you. 1. Which of Elon Musk's projects, electric cars, reusable rockets, brain-computer interfaces, or global internet, do you find most inspiring, and why? 2. Do you think failure is a step towards success? Can you share a time when a setback taught you something valuable? 3. If you could solve one big problem in the world, what would you choose, and how would you start?
If you enjoyed this story, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me make more stories for you.